Welcome to the Desert Friendlies here from Tucson, Arizona. We are live on MLSsoccer.com. We are proud to be bringing you 26 games this preseason live streamed on MLSsoccer.com, and it all starts here today in Tucson with the Colorado Rapids taking on the Portland Timbers. This is the first of many games you can watch through February leading up to the opening of the MLS season on March 2nd. So Portland fans, Colorado fans, you're going to get to see your teams go at it for the first time today. Remember to check MLSsoccer.com for the full schedule of live stream matches throughout the preseason. I'm going to take you up to the booth right now with my partner today, Matt Doyle, the armchair analyst, and he'll take you through the Portland Timbers lineup.
It's a mix of old faces and new faces, Jason. It starts in the back with Donovan Ricketts, very familiar to MLS fans and coaches alike. Ahead of him, one of the new faces at right back, Ryan Miller, who the Timbers acquired this offseason. Central defenders are Andrew Jean-Baptiste and David Horst. And left back, Michael Harrington, longtime SKC man, who Caleb Porter traded for. Midfield, it's a diamond formation, very similar to what RSL play. You have Jack Jewsbury at D-mid, Diego Chara at right midfield, and Will Johnson from RSL, now in Portland playing left midfield. Diego Valeri, a guy to keep an eye on. He'll be the attacking midfielder behind a pair of forwards, Ryan Johnson and Darlington Nagbe.
And when you look at it, this is a very exciting time for the Portland Timbers. Caleb Porter starting his regime there. We're going to take a look at their opponents today. They're taking on the Colorado Rapids, of course. Oscar Pareja, in his second year as head coach of the Colorado Rapids, looking to bounce back a little bit from last year, but it's been a lot of changeover. Connor Casey out, Omar Cummings out, Jeff Lorenowitz out. The old guard, that championship team, it's gone.
It's a long time ago
now. Now you have the new team, and Matt Pickens, one of the links to that old team, starting in goal.
That's right. He's one of the familiar faces. Another familiar face, Brian Mullen, in a different place. He's starting at right back. Next to him will be Drew Moore in central defense, and the new guy, Diego Calderon, Ecuador national teamer, also in central defense. Anthony Wallace trying to make his return from several years out injured at left back. Midfield trio of Hendry Thomas, Pablo Mastroeni holding behind Martin Rivero, the number 10. And then up front, left to right, Tony Cassio at left, Atiba Harris at center forward, and Kamani Hill on the right wing.
We're getting ready to kick things off here. This is the first of a bunch of games being streamed live on MLSsoccer.com all through the preseason. Drew Moore in the back looks to play it long, and it's deflected. Ryan Johnson, one of the new members of the Portland Timbers there, getting into the act early.
You can see they're pressing high already. I think that's going to be a signature of the Caleb Porter regime. He's going to want to get on teams and not let them play through the middle comfortably.
Here's Andrew Jean-Baptiste, first-round draft pick for the Portland Timbers last year, starting in the back today alongside David Horst.
And there's Ryan Miller, who came to Portland from Scandinavia, played a couple seasons there in Norway primarily.
Spent some time with DC United, I believe the Columbus Crew right out of college, but I'm not sure he made an MLS roster back then. Went to Scandinavia, really made a name for himself, and now
this is some nice combination play here.
Great
and
ball through.
Exactly
it's Nagbe.
What they want. And
Nagbe's taken down.
Offside.
Oh, they called an offside. Good-looking combination play, though, by Portland in the midfield.
All happened pretty quickly. It looks like they were on the same page right there.
Remember, this is game one for these teams, the first organized game. So expect to see different lineups, switching up at halftime. Everyone playing about 45 minutes. Really trying to get their feet under them for the early preseason.
I think we usually expect to see some sloppy play at this point. Guys still trying to find their fitness and their form.
But you know what? I'll take sloppy play. I'll take any MLS play right now. It's been a long time.
It has.
You can probably hear the wind. It is quite breezy out here. It's kind of chilly. It's not. I was here last week in Tucson. It was, I believe, 85 degrees. It's definitely not that today. We're wearing gloves and hats.
About half that.
Yeah. Baptiste plays it long, looking for Ryan Johnson. Miller and Mullen there, and it's enough to defend on him. Oh, great touch by Martin Rivero, and he keeps it in along the sideline. What a touch that was. Pablo Mastroeni in the middle of the field. Good to see him back on the field. You can see him wearing the headgear. Had a lot of concussion issues. Kept him out of all of last season. We thought he might retire, but signed a new contract with the Rapids this offseason.
And he's got Hendry Thomas next to him to do a lot of the dirty work. That's a pairing that'll have to develop chemistry right away, I think, for Pareja's 4-3-3 to be successful.
And here's Nagby after the turnover. It's Johnson in the middle. Out wide to Will Johnson. Michael Harrington back to the blonde locks that we saw earlier in his career.
Nice turn there.
It's good to see both these teams really going at it early.
It is. The second time you notice that Rivero is picking the ball up out wide, I think that probably won't make Oscar Pareja too happy. Going to want him to be more central.
Big switch out wide to Anthony Wallace, another guy. Good to see him back on the field. Really struggled with injuries. Again, another player kept out all of last season. And that left back position really is something that's open for the Colorado Rapids this season.
Yeah, a couple of guys. Chris Klute is another one who will be in the mix, and maybe even Calderon.
Don't forget Corey Kindle, for draft pick, highly touted draft pick, also in the mix. So we'll see if one of the three natural left backs shows well enough during the preseason. I think they could lock up the job, but if not, Calderon, probably the more experienced guy, could push out wide from what we're hearing. Here's Casio down the left side. Tony Casio, first-round draft pick from last year, draws a foul.
And a neighborhood kid. He's from Arizona, one of the many who's come into MLS from these parts in the past 2 years. Nick De Leon, another.
Lexi, I'm going to switch to Scott. Go to the scrimmage in the middle of the field and Scott stay on the demo.
Now this is where the Rapids can do some damage. Rivero sends in a really great set piece.
Interestingly, though, the Rapids not a very big team. When you look at their lineup, they don't have a lot of big bodies. Atiba Harris, Edson Buttle, maybe two of them, but
that's about it.
Not a lot of size. Good service, though. Oh. It's covered by Ricketts. The ball kind of just sitting there in the 6-yard box looking for someone to get a toe poke on it.
Yeah, that was a bit of a preview.
That's Drew Moore territory there. Drew Moore loves sitting in the 6 and poking the ball in the net. Timbers back on the ball. It's Andrew Jean-Baptiste, and he goes out wide to Ryan Miller. We haven't mentioned his name yet, but Diego Valeri, big signing for the Portland Timbers, attacking midfielder in Argentine. Expecting him to be their impact player this year, right, Matt?
I think he has to be. If the Timbers are going to compete, he has to be a legit best 11 candidate. And for a guy who's in the Argentine national team pool and is at the peak of his career, you would expect him to be, I think.
Sure. Here's Harrington pressuring Mullen. Back to Drew Moore. There's Hendry Thomas. To Mullen, and now Martin Rivero. We see him all the way pushed out wide on the right wing again. Here's Nagby on the break as Portland looking to get something going in the attack. Out wide. That's Valeri laying it off in the cross. Cleared away by Brian Mullen. What do you think about Brian Mullen at right back?
Yeah, it's a shift late in his career. I always thought he would have been a natural right back about 7-8 years ago, but obviously Houston did pretty well with him at right midfield. So. But he certainly has the work rate and instinct for it.
Notice Eric Alexander in the lineup. was not in our original starting lineup.
Yeah,
so
he's in for Dewsbury, it looks like.
Oh yeah, Dewsbury was supposed to be in that sitting midfield role, but yeah, it does look like Alexander in there instead. So just updating you on the lineups. We're getting them piecemeal through the night and through the morning and trying to patch them together. I think that the coaches are making last-minute decisions as well. Here's Ryan Miller down the right side. Defended by Wallace, but
Given away.
here's Valeri. Has a go, and he just misses wide to the near post.
Interestingly, it looks like Eric Alexander's playing more as a pure D-mid here. It's a position he never played under John Spencer or even Gavin Wilkinson last year.
Here's Will Johnson pumping it into the Colorado end, but Pickens will start it up for the Rapids. It looks early, Matt, like they're trying to attack down the right side with Martin Rivera over here, and it makes a little sense, I guess, with Brian Mullen being your right back.
Yeah, I would say he's probably the more attacking of the two. They haven't really been able to get on the ball in the central midfield, though. It's going to take time for the chemistry to come between Thomas and Mastroeni, but you have to wonder Martin Rivera drifting to the right almost constantly at this point.
I've just seen like a lot of really cool things and stuff. I really want to go to it more, but yeah, I agree.
There's Rivera collecting for the Rapids, out wide to Brian Mullen. See how active the Timbers are defensively.
They are, especially up top. Ryan Johnson is one of the guys here who's fit.
Over top to Atiba Harris. Harris defended by Jean Baptiste, and Jean Baptiste able to earn a, looks like Colorado's going to earn the corner kick. Harris getting behind the defense, earning the corner kick for the Rapids.
Yeah, we had a good view of that one. He timed his run perfectly and beat that Timbers trap.
It's a low ball sent in, cleared by Will Johnson. Wallace will go, Valeri showing a little intensity there for early season, preseason game, but he earns the throw-in.
Caleb Porter will be happy to see that, I think.
You get your number 10 playmaker in, and he does the dirty work early. That's a way to, get your teammates behind you. There's Rivero now on the left side. Rivero in the midfield, out to Wallace. Here's Casio combining with Mastroeni. There's Calderon out of the back. Turnover for the Timbers. Valeri out wide, that's Ryan Johnson. Defended well by Calderon. It's what you want to see from your new acquisition there in the back.
Yeah, that's very nicely done by him. Very calm on the ball.
There's Calderon pushing it up.
Well, you can see Portland just want to get right on you and not let you play it out of the back. Reminiscent of Sporting KC, I think.
Well, ball's out of play. I'll remind everybody watching these games streaming live throughout the preseason. You can also see the archive of those games on youtube.com/MLS. They're streaming through our YouTube channel, so you can see the archive there afterwards. Spread the word for everyone who wants to take a look at their teams during the preseason. But can't watch 2 hours of soccer while at work. For us, it's our job, but understandable that not everyone can do it. So you can definitely see the archive of these games on MLS's YouTube page, which is youtube.com/MLS. Here's Mullen in the back, turns on Chara, and there's your preseason form for you right there. As Mullen turns it over, we head the other way. It's Will Johnson on the ball. Big switch to Chara, and here's Harrington. Nice combination. Harrington with the cross. Not what he was looking for, though. Here's Kamani Hill out wide.
You can see it's right now the only outlet that Colorado midfield has is just to play it back to the fullbacks, and then Portland's right on them.
I wonder how vulnerable Portland might be over the top with Horst and John Alexander in the back. Not the speediest pair.
No, definitely not. And Horst struggled keeping an offside trap last year as well. So that's something I'm sure the Portland coaches will be working on throughout the preseason.
Here's Mullen getting up the wing for the first time, but Rivero's ball to him did not do him any favors. Portland now going the other way. It's Nagbe in the midfield. Hendry Thomas pushes him off the ball. And it's Rivero drawing a free kick. The wind, I should tell fans, is going from the camera side across the field, a little bit towards the Portland goal. But mostly it's going from one side of the field to the other. And it's freezing. Also remind everyone while we're waiting here that you can tweet at Matt Doyle if you have any questions for us. We'll try to get to them during the broadcast of this game. MLS_analyst is his Twitter handle. Rivero going to goal on the free kick, and the wall does its job. Horst stepping in front of Harris, but Portland can't collect. It's Colorado on the ball again. Thomas to Hill, back to Thomas.
Nicely done by Chara there.
And here's Nagbe going the other way for Portland.
That was a chance right there for Nagbe to be aggressive and maybe make a play, and he backed off, and that's something that I think Caleb Porter will want him to address as the season goes on. He needs to play with more confidence because he has the skill and he has the talent. But he chooses a safe option far too often.
It's a good point. We'll see. I mean, that's the development of a young player, and how coachable is he? How soon did the adjustments happen? I guess we'll see what Nagbe looks like this season under his former college coach, Caleb Porter. Horst in the back, goes out wide left to Harrington. Brought over from Kansas City in the offseason. I'm sure he's happy to get what looks to be a starting job back.
Yeah, I think it's his to lose.
Sure. Tiba Harris called for the offside. Here's Colorado now. Martin Rivero in the midfield. It looks like they'll earn a throw-in. Throw-in for Portland. Eric Alexander now in the midfield, out to Ryan Miller. Miller to Nagbe to Alexander. He's got the switch out wide, didn't see it, to Harrington.
can't dawdle on the ball like that. Get punished.
It's Ryan Johnson. And now Nagby. Oh. Could not tell if that was maybe a handball on Nagby.
I think that's what it was, yeah. You can see how dangerous he is when he controls and bursts out of midfield like that.
Yeah, it'll really be interesting to see what the Timbers do on a game-to-game basis. When you have a guy like Ryan Johnson, you also have Bright DK. They're playing 4-4-2 today, but we've seen them play 4-3-3. What are they going to do with these guys? Johnson and DK, both a real handful up top.
Physical presence. I think flexibility is important to Caleb Porter. I think he wants to be able to come out and play a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3 as the situation arises.
Here's Mastroeni in the midfield. It's Kamani Hill. Hill goes out wide. This is Brian Mullen playing right back. Looks to send in Rivero. The cross is cleared by David Horst. Here's Valeri. Oh! Wow, Hendry Thomas goes right through Valeri. That's right in front of our broadcast position, and that looked ugly.
I think that's got to be a yellow. Yep, and here it comes.
Here's the early yellow card for Hendry Thomas. I've been told that Jean-Baptiste had the second fastest time on the team last year in, I guess, some sort of preseason sprint test. So slow on the back line. Maybe that was my bad. But to be fair, was it on the turn?
That's a good
I don't
question.
know. We'll have to see.
That's a good question.
Speed on the turn and speed in a sprint are two different things, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see what he shows out there.
I think
as Horst slips on the free kick.
They're probably a little more concerned about his ability on the ball than his athletic bona fides, I would say.
Remind fans you can reach out to us on Twitter. We love the banter. We want to hear questions. You can tweet at Matt Doyle, the armchair analyst. It's MLS at MLS_analyst. You could tweet at me. It's at Jason Sagini. We'll try to get your questions on air, try to answer them, and get your thoughts.
Tweet at Jason a little bit. He's lonely.
Yeah. Just want a reason to take my hands out of my pockets. Here's Mullen looking for Harris down the right side. It's Tiber Harris on the turn and the cross. Cleared by David Horst. There's Drew Moore winning the ball from Nagby. But Nagby earns it back. Harrington looking for an outlet, and he has it in Donovan Ricketts. Remember that trade last year? I think a lot of Portland fans were unhappy when they brought in Ricketts for Troy Perkins, who was sent to Montreal. You think Ricketts is the guy this year?
I think he'll be the guy this year. I don't know beyond that, though. He's getting up there in age, and let's face it, he was pretty bad last season. But he's also a former MLS goalkeeper of the year, won a couple of cups. So you don't want to give up on him just yet, especially when you're in the midst of rebuilding your back line.
Here's a free kick for Portland now. We'll see Diego Valeri on the ball. This free kick taking a little while to get going. But Valeri on the ball. Sends it in. Dangerous ball into the box.
Second touch was offside. It was a nice whipped ball, wasn't it?
I think that's what you're paying for. Good service. We're in the 23rd minute now. Here's Kamani Hill with a chance on goal. Has it going. Smashes it off the crossbar. It's Rivero now in the box. Slips to Mullen. Mullen goes over the top. It's Cassio. And cleared by Michael Harrington. Scramble in the Portland Timbers box.
All started by a slip by, I believe it was Horst in central defense. Opened the game wide open.
Here's Nagby to Valeri. Nice touch. Ryan Johnson now. Portland looking to come right back the other way. But it's turned over to Colorado. Here's Harrington to Valeri. To Will Johnson. Johnson with a big switch out wide, and that's Ryan Miller. Portland looking for Miller to be the answer at right back, Harrington at left back. New players brought in on both sides under Caleb Porter. Here's Kamani Hill for the Colorado Rapids going the other way. And now Cassio. Hill draws the foul.
Harrington and Miller have a big job this year. They need to do a better job of cutting out service from the flanks. It was really Portland's Achilles heel last season. They just couldn't stop it. Miller's done a good job so far. Harrington is in a little trouble, but again, first game of the preseason.
Mastroeni out wide. It's Martin Rivero. Probably one of the more underrated players in the league last year. I mean, playing for a Colorado team that just wasn't winning a ton of games. Really a great acquisition for them.
He was. He flew under the radar all season, and I think he's going to have a breakout year this season.
Here's Cassio to Kamani Hill. Hill to Rivero. Rivero fighting off the defender. Wallace goes back to Thomas. Portland really pressuring the ball. The forwards getting into the act, and Ryan Johnson there earning a throw-in for Portland.
Yeah, and again, Ryan Johnson is one of these guys who's fit because he played for Jamaica in the Caribbean Cup qualifying for the Gold Cup earlier in the year. Of course, Jamaica did not qualify.
Yeah, it's
a bit of a shock.
Incredible. I'm sure there's a lot of MLS coaches, though, that are happy that they're going to keep their players all through the summer.
Yeah, Dom Kinnear in particular probably danced a jig.
Still 0-0 here. The first game from the Desert Friendlies in Tucson, Arizona. Portland Timbers, Colorado Rapids going at it. Caleb Porter getting the new regime underway here for the Portland Timbers. Oscar Pereira, of course, for the Colorado Rapids in his second season as head coach. Here's Andrew Jean-Baptiste looking to go up the wing, turns it over to Rodney Wallace. Now Atiba Harris made a good run, was onside, laid the ball off. Here's Colorado going the other way. It's Rivero and Mullen. Harris now doing the job, holding the, it's what you want to see from your center forward, holding the ball up, finding your players, but his pass was just off for Brian Mullen.
I think that's a play that'll come off for them as they start to develop a little chemistry. Harris is very, very good in those situations.
Yeah.
Just doesn't finish.
Yeah, I mean, another guy injured all last season. I think they got him on the cheap from Vancouver. And, of course, they have Edson Buttle, who's not here dealing with that injury that kept him out of U.S. camp. But that's two really good options as your center forwards. You know, you get rid of Connor Casey, you have a couple of guys who can fit the bill.
Yeah, and Andre Akpan actually showed a bit at the end of last season as well, and I think we'll see him in the second half of the game today.
We will when they do their full lineup changes at halftime. New 11s for both teams we're expecting. And you'll probably see that throughout the day. Of course, we're going to have two more games later. San Jose Earthquakes against the Houston Dynamo in the second game this afternoon. And then later tonight, Sporting Kansas City against the local boys, FC Tucson. I am hearing that San Jose will not be playing with numbers today, and that will, of course, pose some problems to your announce team, but we'll do our best.
It's going to be a lot of that guy to the other guy.
Here's another free kick earned by the Timbers. Valeri will see some more of that service that we expect. See if someone can get on the end of it. Again, when you look in the box right now, you see the height differential for the Portland Timbers on the Colorado Rapids, and I wonder how much of an issue that will be on set pieces this year for the Rapids. Again, the wind is going along with the ball here. And Valeri has it go and scores!
Oh.
So much for service. When you have that skill, you bend it into the far post. Portland goes up 1-0 on a goal off a set piece by Diego Valeri.
Reminiscent of his countryman Federico Higuain with that one, just picking out the far post, and there was nothing for the keeper to do, nothing for Matt Pickens on that one. So it's 1-0 now for the Portland Timbers.
I think that's what Portland fans want to see. Their new acquisitions stepping into the mix, making a quick name for themselves.
Yeah, and let it be known for MLS teams going up against the Timbers in that situation, 3 or 4 guys in the wall, I think.
Yeah. Here's Anthony Wallace looking to go over the top to Atiba Harris. I would say for the first, I guess, 20, 25 minutes, it was more, Colorado had more of the ball, more of the play. There was a little bit against the run of play there. But it's been a fairly even game.
Yeah. The Rapids definitely had the best chance from the run of play when Kamani Hill struck the crossbar. About 20
Here's
yards
Mullen
out.
going over the top. It's Martin Rivero laying it off for Atiba Harris.
Atiba did not read that one.
I think he was confused why Martin Rivero was the target there. But good overlapping runs by the Rapids, and they continue on possession. It's Hendry Thomas out wide to Anthony Wallace. And here's Kamani Hill. Hill draws the foul on Eric Alexander.
Yeah, the Rapids settling in nicely now. Down 1-0, but settling in nicely from the run of play.
Yeah, I think coaches Oscar Pereira would probably be one of the first people to tell you it's not about wins or losses right now. It's about getting in form, getting your combinations down. Here's Rivero with the service, and it's a good one. They're going to earn a corner out of that. Rivero sets it up again. He'll take this corner. Looking for Atiba Harris. Diego Calderon in there. But it's Eric Horst with the clear. Calderon called for a push.
Yeah, Portland's size advantage really telling on these set pieces so far. Calderon is 5'11", a little undersized maybe for a central defender, but he plays bigger than that.
Thank you to Cameron Fowler for sending in a tweet that says, because you're lonely and cold, any news on trialists for Portland or Colorado who may stick? I've heard Silvestri for Portland, Mikhail Silvestri from former Manchester United player. He will be playing in the second half for Portland as a center back. We have, for Colorado, I know Martinez, a Honduran international, will be playing in the second half as well. So there are definitely guys here who are likely to make the team if they can make an impact and the price is right.
That's right. And Walter Martinez, a long-time Honduran international, member of the 2010 World Cup team. It's about 40, 45 caps, I want to say, for the Cuchachas. And like Hendry Thomas, he's trying to work his way back into that team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so stay tuned for the second half when you might not know all the players, but we'll try to get you all the info we can, and you'll see some of these trialists and rookies, some of the guys trying to make a name for themselves out there. As the wind picks up. Here's Valeri on the ball again, finds Chara. Looking for a cutting Nagby. Nagby can't control though. Here's Mastroeni to Thomas. Now Wallace. Timbers hounding Colorado in their end.
You can see Wallace just doesn't have the confidence. He had to play the ball with his right foot or to even try to put a move on. Still working his way back to full fitness.
Here's Wallace on the throw-in to Rivero. Now Mastroeni switches on to Kamani Hill. Hill with his head up, Mullen out down the right wing, tries to poke it through to Atiba Harris. And there's Hill running it back down.
Horst just cut a number of those out very nicely, and there he is again.
Thomas with a nice flick, keeping possession to Kamani Hill.
With David Horst, it's just a matter of can he keep the offside line tight. If he does that, I think he's a top-tier MLS central defender. But he has those mental lapses. If he gets rid of those, the Timbers will be in business.
Not the right ball in the end from Rodney Wallace. Sorry, not Rodney Wallace, Anthony Wallace in the back.
A good bit of combination play between him and Tony Cassio on that left side. Cassio is a player I'm expecting to have a breakout year in his second year.
Yeah, great rookie season from Tony Cassio, but again, as good as it could have been for a team that wasn't really performing well. Watched him in practice yesterday. He looked the most in form out of guys on the finishing drills, so keep an eye out for him ripping a couple shots at net. Here's Ryan Johnson. Johnson made it around the Colorado defense, but put his shot just wide. Looks like it deflected out for a corner, though.
And you can see as soon as the Colorado Central defense gets on the ball, Johnson, Nagby, Valeri, all right up on them. So even when Portland's not creating from the run of play, they're going to force those turnovers.
Uh-oh. Now Merritt's getting into the act because Merritt Paulson said, show me a central defense faster than Horst and Andrew Jean-Baptiste in the league. Both guys are burners. We're going to have to go to Portland do some sprint tests. Here's Horst getting up for that one, but heading it over, and it'll be a goal kick. How about if Merritt flies us up to Portland, we will bring our stopwatches, and we'll time it out.
Hey, I got to give the advantage to Colorado if it ends up being Marvell Wynn and Diego Calderon, by the way.
Yeah. Here's Mastroeni out of the back. You can see that Portland pressure. For game one of the preseason, they're moving very well together. You can see their shape. A long ball turned over by the Rapids to Portland. That's the goal of it, right?
There you go. That's
Get your shape right, you get your pressure right, and you get the ball back. Kamani Hill out wide to Brian Mullen. Mullen looking to go back to Kamani Hill.
It's very interesting how tight Mullen is playing defensively, pinching in.
It's Will Johnson to Eric Alexander. Ryan Johnson keeping possession to Johnson to Will Johnson. Ryan Miller called for the foul. Tony Cassio earns it. Rivera will send in another free kick.
It's about his fourth right from this spot, isn't it? Quick.
Big switch there from Calderon to Mullen.
That's nicely done for Brian Mullen.
And Mullen continues his run. Mullen's selling it. Chara got him. He got him a little bit, but the sales job by Mullen gets the call.
Yeah, it looked like he clipped him pretty good. I think that's a foul.
Rivero stands over the ball.
Chara, of course, fills the box score every game with a couple 3 or 4 fouls.
Rivero on the ball, serves it in. Good ball. Oh, makes it to the back post. Atiba Harris could not get his foot on the ball, and it's out for a goal kick.
You can see the value of Ryan Johnson there. He's already cleared a couple of set pieces out, and there he is on the back post, marking the best target the Rapids have. It's just the all-around play he brings.
Here's Ricketts on the goal kick. Horst clears it up. Nagbe looking to control, and he gets it to Valeri. Valeri turns it over, though, to Martin Rivero. Here's Atiba Harris sending Kamani Hill. Horst able to box him out, get it back to his goalkeeper, and they clear. Drew Moore called for the foul there on Ryan Johnson. Matt, I'll give you another question that came in from Twitter. It might take a little time to think through this, though. Who has the fastest sprint time on Colorado? I think we know that. Portland and Toronto. We'll start with Colorado.
It's got to be Marvell Wynn, right?
Yeah. Marvell Wynn for sure. Portland and Toronto. Probably have to think through those a little bit.
You know, it's one of those things I don't...
Here's Valeri down the wing, defended by Calderon. Calderon, another good job on the defensive side. Clears, but gives it away to Eric Alexander, who gives it back to Hendry Thomas. Here's Anthony Wallace, the left back. Some of the sloppy play that we talked about sometimes in the preseason there in the midfield.
I'll say this, I don't think out-and-out speed is always the most valuable physical tool for a soccer player. I'm more interested in guys who have balance and agility. And that's where you look at a guy like Darlington Nagbe and you think the ceiling is kind of unlimited.
You're trying to get around the question?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
just curious. Here's Ryan Johnson, Derek Alexander, and now Horst out of the back. Harrington with Valeri in front of him, but he's pushed back to Horst. Not a lot of options here as Colorado ups the pressure. Horst looking for Nagbe, who flicks it on. Diego Chara could not get to that, and Mullen heads back to Matt Pickens.
I'm still struggling on my answer for Portland, though.
All right, we'll come back to it. It's Will Johnson to Ryan Johnson to Alexander and Valeri with some space in the midfield. Thought he had a little more time than he did. Anthony Wallace now to Pablo Mastroeni to Rivero. Goes back to Drew Moore.
You can see what the Timbers want to do when they have the ball in midfield, though. Play those quick passes, get the back line to step.
Kamani Hill almost getting behind the defense, had a couple probably head and shoulders in front of the defender. If it was just shoulders, I think he'd be okay, but I'm not sure he'd be able to get his shoulders in front without his head.
Biology 101, brought to you by Jason Sagini. Folks.
Yeah, it's the best I have. Rivero limping a little bit, maybe a little payback for that earlier tackle on Valeri. Here's Alexander restarting to play. Bad giveaway to Pablo Mastroeni in the middle of the field. Mastroeni goes back to Rivero, who's still limping.
I think he's going to come out.
Rivero asked to be taken out of the game. see who's brought on. Rivero really the engine that's running the middle of the field, orchestrating the attack for Colorado. Kamani Hill back to Wallace, to Thomas in the middle of the field, Calderon back to Wallace. Colorado stringing some passes together. Here's Atiba Harris up top, and he's pushed down by Andrew Jean-Baptiste. Colorado earns a set piece. Being that Rivero would probably be the one to take it, let's see if they get this substitute in right now.
You'd think the natural sub would be Jamie Smith, longtime Rapid, who is trying to win a job.
Yeah, we expected to see him to take that position for the second half. We'll see if he's warm. I think the only thing, we've seen Jamie Smith a little bit injury prone in MLS. I don't know if you want to put him in there cold on a windy day like this. There's a set piece taken by Hendry Thomas, turned over, and the Portland Timbers look to attack quickly. It's Nagby on the ball. He's out to Will Johnson, outright. Johnson with a big switch. He's got Diego Chara, but Brian Mullen there to defend. Mullen heads away, but it's Harrington on the ball, defended by Atiba Harris. Harrington dribbles it out of bounds. Mullen on the ball. The Rapids playing down a man right now. Still have not made a substitute for Martin Rivero, who's limping off after a tough tackle. Hill looks to flick on, but it's Horst that takes over, and now Will Johnson. Johnson through the midfield finds Ryan Johnson out wide. Here's Harrington. Diego Chara finds some extra space in the middle of the field. It's Valeri now. Valeri looking to get it behind the defense, but could not. And he'll be called for the foul. And here comes the substitute. And that is number 40.
There's one of our trialists, Cesar Romero.
Oh, you recognize Cesar Romero from Chivas USA. Played with Chivas USA last year. He's trialing with the Rapids, getting his opportunity now. We didn't see him in the second half lineup, so not expected to play today. But he's probably happy to get out for a quick run as we get to halftime here at the Desert Friendlies. Streaming live here on MLSsoccer.com with Matt Doyle. I'm Jason Sagini. Matt, what'd you see in that first half?
Some rust, but honestly, I thought there were moments of combination play from both teams that were a little better than I expected for late January. Diego Valeri right off the bat, you could see when he gets on the ball, he has great ideas. And I think for Portland, their task is going to be to figure out where they need to be and when they need to be there, because he's going to find them with that pass. Colorado, I think it's going to be the same thing with Martin Rivero. They really have to commit to this 4-3-3, though, and find a way to make it work, especially with Mastroeni and Hendry Thomas. At the back of it, neither of those guys is really known as a distributor.
Well, Portland Timbers leading 1-0 on the goal from Diego Valeri off the free kick. Matt, we do have, I'm going to answer the question for Portland because Merritt Paulson, of course, watching the stream of his team, says Nagby and Baptiste were the fastest in the 40 last year, nearly identical times, if I recall. So
there you go.
There you go. This is my last live tweet. Thanks to Merritt Paulson for stopping in and digitally joining us in the booth.
I'm going to guess Reggie Lamb for Colorado. How about that?
For
Toronto, rather.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not a bad guess. I really need to think about it. What about Ashton Morgan?
Ashton Morgan's got some wheels as well. Of course, you could see him tonight for Canada against the U.S. on ESPN2.
All right, I'll remind everyone, you can tweet at us. You can tweet at Matt Doyle. It's at MLS_analyst, or myself at Jason Sagini. We'll answer your questions during the second half of the broadcast. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the second half lineups. Again, full changeover expected for both teams, and we see the players out there warming up right now. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back for the second half shortly. Welcome back here to Tucson, Arizona. Jason Sagini here with the armchair analyst Matt Doyle, bringing you the Portland Timbers against the Colorado Rapids. Portland up 1-0 after a first half goal by their new designated player, Diego Valeri. And we'll take a look. There are going to be full sail changes at halftime. We'll take a look at the Portland lineup. In goal will be Milos Kosic for the Portland Timbers, come over from Toronto FC in the offseason.
Along with Ryan Johnson, yeah. And the back line is going to be Ryan Kowalik at right back, Fuddy Donzo in central defense, with a name that'll be familiar to soccer fans, Michael Savest. You remember him from his days with Manchester United and Arsenal. Left back is Chris Taylor. Central midfield trio of Michael Nanchoff, who's a trialist this year for the Timbers.
Right, he's going to come in for Eric Alexander, who made the emergency start in the first half for Jack Dewsbury.
And he's joined by Khalif Al-Hassan and Danny Mwanga as a pure playmaker, wearing that number 10. Yeah. And then the front three from right to left, it's Sal Zizzo, Bright DK, and Jose Adolfo El Trencito Valencia. Finally get a look at the young DP for the Timbers.
Be exciting to see him, and we'll give you the Colorado Rapids second half lineup now, and we might have some changes to this lineup. As I can see one already with Dylan Cerna coming out. So we'll try to
signing.
We'll take you through as best we can, but in goal is not Stuart Seus, so we'll get you Colorado's lineup. It's Jimmy Maurer in goal for the Colorado Rapids, and then along the back line we have Corey Kindle at left back, their second-round draft pick this year. In the middle, Shane O'Neill, the young youth national teamer for the United States, used to play midfield but has been playing center back for them. He'll play center back here. Next to him in the back, we have Nate Sturgis, came over from the Houston Dynamo, and outright Chris Clute will play right back for the Rapids. In the midfield, it'll be Dylan Powers, another draft pick, first-round draft pick for the Colorado Rapids, teaming up with Nick Labraca from Chivas USA, a player who came over, returning to the Rapids. And, of course, we expected to have Jamie Smith coming into the midfield, but it looks like he is the player who's not there. Dylan Cerna is there, the young homegrown signing out of the University of Akron. And then up top, we'll have Deshaun Brown, another first-round draft pick for the Colorado Rapids. He will be playing up top with Andre Akban
And
Walter Martinez, the Honduran international that we mentioned a little bit earlier. So there's your full lineup for the Colorado Rapids. We will adjust our notes and we will get going.
This is interesting, a little makeshift for both teams because there's not really a true defensive midfielder out there for either side. So
let's get some goals here, Matt.
Yeah, could be in for some fireworks, I think.
Dylan Cerna, a very interesting player when you look at him. He's not very big, doesn't have a lot of size, but they say technically he is one of the best players on the team already. So we'll get to see some of that skill out here as we begin the second half. And we're underway in the second half. Portland Timbers leading 1-0 over the Colorado Rapids. Portland passing it around the back. It's Footy Danzo now on the ball. He goes out wide to Ryan Kowalik, who goes long, and here's Bright DK closing in. DK stealing the ball. Here's Zizzo. Zizzo down the wing.
And I would expect DK to be the best player out in the field in the second half because he just came off a long camp with Nigeria, scored a goal for the Super Eagles. Didn't make their African Cup of Nations squad, but was one of the last cuts. So he's ready for a breakout season, I think, for the Timbers.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what as Colorado looks to go over top. It's Danzo with the defense on Andre Akban. You look at Danzo, last year he was playing for the LA Blues on loan, comes back, really starts to light things up, ends up getting into the Nigerian national team camp. I mean, it's all kind of come quick. Remember, he was a first-round draft pick by the Columbus Crew. They ended up cutting him in the preseason.
Right.
So really, he's come a long way, shown that he can develop his game, and he
also fought through an ACL injury, so
Yeah.
he had more downs than ups to start his career, but really came on and well, I think one of the great stories of last season.
Sure. It's still pretty cold out here, although sunny. There's wind blowing across the field, going from the near side to the far side. Here's Zizzo now to Al Hassan. Al Hassan with the big switch to Chris Taylor, draft pick from last year.
There's Trencito.
Jose Valencia. His father played in MLS. El Tren, he's El Trencito. And
of
that's
course,
enough Spanish out of me because I embarrass myself.
his father, of course, played for the Colombian national team as well, scored against the U.S. in the '94 World Cup in that 2-1 win for the U.S.
There's Dylan Cern on the ball to LaBroca, and here's Kindle. Kindle finding Akban, back to LaBroca. Nice combination play by the Rapids, and here's Walter Martinez. Martinez looks to go out wide and puts a little bit too much mustard on that.
Yeah, that was not a textbook switch of field, was it? What does Michael Sylvestre need to show, Jason, in order to get a contract here? What do you think?
That's an interesting question. Probably that he's worth the money. I gotta assume that there's a decent price tag coming with him. But I mean, you want a guy who's experienced, right? You want a guy who shows some leadership qualities.
I think organizational and just the ability to play out of the back and initiate that possession game. That's a foul.
Colorado on the free kick. Sent in, and the flick on. Punched away by Milos Kosic for the Portland Timbers. It's Walter Martinez out wide. Ball served back in, flicked on, but Kosic is there to collect. Dylan Powers sending in that free kick and the second opportunity. Here's a long ball out of the back. Nothing doing there, and Jimmy Maurer will collect in goal for the Colorado Rapids. It's LaBroca deep in the midfield.
Interesting to see him playing there. He's a guy who made the All-Star team 2 years ago as an attacking midfielder. 8 goals and 7 assists for Chivas USA.
Yeah, you wonder if he's not the backup for Martin Rivero at that position, or if Rivero's not there, if they just change it up a little bit. Here's Serna winning the ball back, drawing the foul on Al Hassan. Some good touches so far from young Dylan Serna. Here's Powers now in the midfield. That's Akban out wide to Serna. Serna lays it off for Kindle. Kindle's cross is a good one, and the header on goal by Deshaun Brown. But Milos Kosic makes the save. It's like we're at the combine all over again. Kindle to Deshaun Brown.
Yeah.
Dylan Powers here also. Good, nice draft class by the Colorado Rapids. When you throw in Dylan Serna as a homegrown signing, probably one of the top young players in college soccer. Oscar Pereira's got to be happy with the direction that the Rapids are going in.
I would say so. They still have the feel of a team that's a year away, but the pieces are in place to improve rapidly, I think. No pun intended. I'm sorry about that. Ooh.
Felt that coming. Here's Martinez battling for the ball and wins it back for the Rapids. LaBroca now turns it over to Al Hassan. There's Michael Nanchoff. Can't collect. Nanchoff, remember, from the Vancouver Whitecaps. Released by the Caps, trying to find a spot on the Portland Timbers with his former college head coach, Caleb Porter. Looking to go over the top there. Nothing doing. The clearance by Milos Kosic. A little bit off the mark. Martinez now picks it up for the Rapids. Looking for Brown in the middle. Nice layoff. Martinez turns it over. It's Valencia to Al Hassan. Al Hassan has a streaking Sal Zizzo. He's got some room here to work one-on-one against Corey Kindle. Lays it off. There's a centering ball, and Maurer gets a hand on it last minute. Wow, great overlapping run. That was Kowalik making the overlapping run and getting the cross away.
And that's exactly what you want to see from a 4-3-3 to make it work. Those wingers and those fullbacks have to get on the same page. Very nicely done from Zizzo and Kowalik.
Mikel Sylvestre in the middle there, number 44. Colorado able to clear it away. Here's Nanchoff chasing it down, wearing number 42. A lot of attacking talent on the field right now for the Portland Timbers. There's Chris Taylor getting forward, the left back.
Nice ball out of the back from Sylvestre there.
Here's DK to Taylor and the cross. O'Neal got just enough on Valencia to keep that out. Danzo collects in the back. Sylvestre turns upfield. Here's Al Hassan for the Portland Timbers. Here's Mwanga in the middle of the field. Turning up, lays it off for Nanchoff. Nanchoff on that left foot. Goes out wide. Here's Valencia. Valencia one-on-one with Clute. Has a go, and a great save by Jimmy Maurer. Maurer able to knock it over the bar. What a blast by Valencia, though.
You could see the talent right there from Valencia. He did not need a lot of room or a lot of time to get that shot off, and he laced it.
Sal Zizzo will take this corner kick. Again, Footy Danzo probably your target here. Danzo almost able to get to it. Jimmy Maurer with another big save. Colorado Rapids have a bunch of goalkeeper trialists in camp, and Jimmy Maurer trying to separate himself from the pack.
He's done it so far, putting out a couple of fires back there.
We know we're going to have Matt Pickens and Stuart Seus, but who that third goalkeeper is, kind of up in the air. Jimmy Maurer trying to earn the spot. Here's Al Hassan to Kowalik. Dylan Cerna knocks it out. Zizzo on the throw. He's got Bright DK checking a big target in the middle. DK lays it off for Mwanga, but good job there by Nick LaBroca reading the situation, getting in and breaking it up. Here's LaBroca again out wide. Going up top now to Andre Akban. Defended by Sylvestre. Colorado earns the throw in deep in Portland territory, looking to erase a 1-0 deficit. There's Colorado looking to get a ball in. There's LaBroca with the cross. There's Martinez. Martinez can't get enough on it. 2 targets there, probably the 2 shortest guys on the field in Dylan Cerna and Walter Martinez.
Got to say, LaBroca looking very sharp on both sides of the ball right now.
Kosic calm under pressure there. Whoa.
Ooh.
When you ask me what he needs to show, not that.
Not that.
Here's Deshaun Brown looking to curl one into the far post, just over the bar.
Yeah, Sylvester's not had a good couple of minutes. He conceded the throw in that eventually led to that Martinez header, and then with the slip right there, not covering himself in glory as a veteran.
Is it me or is there a Philadelphia Union fan on the far bleachers? We'll get back to him. Here's Corey Kindle looking to go up the left side, but Zizo steals it away, and Mwanga now collects in the midfield. Looks like Powers took an elbow to the face. Al Hassan looking to put Zizo in. Corey Kindle able to run with him, and Jimmy Maurer anticipates. It's a matchup of speed out here. Corey Kindle, one of the faster guys, more athletic guys at the combine. Sal Zizo, we know he has speed. Powers calm on the ball in the middle of the field, turns on DK.
And that's something that Powers struggled with at the combine, was playing out of traffic like that, but he handled that very, very smoothly.
There's LaBroca to Powers. Powers to Cerna. Cerna goes out wide to Kindle. Kindle gets it through the legs of the defender. Now Cerna out wide on Danzo, the shortest and tallest guys on the field right there, going at it. Nothing coming of it, and Portland turns it upfield the other way. Here's Al Hassan going out wide to Kowalik and Zizzo. It's 3 with the bright pink cleats on the right side of the field for Portland. It's like Valencia drawing the foul on Martinez out wide. Portland with a quick restart. Here's Valencia on the ball. Looking to play it up top to DK. You got the target, you might as well use him. Here's DK holding the ball up nicely. Here's Nanshoff. Nanshoff looking for someone to make a move. That's ball sent in by Chris Taylor. Here's Dylan Cerna trying to break for the Colorado Rapids. Look for Deshaun Brown to get behind the defense. Cerna, though, ball left a lot to be desired. Now game opening up a little bit. Nanshoff turning it upfield. Here's Valencia out wide. We would be all for the game opening up a little bit.
You can see a little confusion, I think, in the Portland midfield.
Oh, that's O'Neal taking out Mwanga, and we've seen some cards, well, at least one card today. This is probably going to be the next one. Oh, he gets away with just a warning.
Mwanga's still, I think, learning how to play as a midfielder instead of a second forward. He's looked a little bit lost, I think, through the start of the second half here.
Do you like him there, or would you like him more as maybe one of the wing players in a 3-man attack?
I think more naturally as a wing player in the 3-man attack, but I'm not against seeing him here, so I'm going to reserve judgment because he does have good feet and good vision.
Here's Zizo on the set piece. Oh, Danzo can't get the flick on. Jimmy Maurer collects it. Question coming in from John Rojas on Twitter. Is Castrione with the team? Why didn't he have any minutes? He is actually not with the team right now. Word is from the Rapids that they are still working things out with him, whether he's going to stay or go, and what the deal is. So he is not with the team, not playing today. But we should hear some more news on that, I think, in the coming weeks.
Obviously would be a big loss. He was the team's leading scorer last season if he's not returning. So the turnover for Valencia, I think early, it hasn't been,
he hasn't had a ton of the ball, Valencia, but you can see some of the things that get you excited about this young player. He has the size, obviously the athletic ability, but the smarts, you know, to turn. We saw an earlier shot that just missed. Very active and around the ball a lot.
Yeah, good technique. He's built like a center forward, but he doesn't really play like it. He wants to face up and take you on.
There's a free kick earned by the Timbers. Again, it's very windy out here, so apologize for the wind if it's getting into the microphones. Obviously, the cameras are probably shaking a little bit as well. So doing the best we can at this facility on a very windy and a chilly day here in Tucson, Arizona.
It's 39 degrees at kickoff.
It's unbelievable. It was 85 degrees when I was here last week. Long clearance now out of the back, and here's Valencia trying to pull it down. Ball out of bounds, and Martinez with the throw-in. Here's Andre Akban trying to turn, can't do it. LaBroca lays it off for Powers. Oh, Jimmy Maurer slips. Trouble coming. Maurer able to get enough on it to get it out of the path of Bright Dike, who is running on. Here's Michael Nanshoff now. Zizo out wide. He's got 2 men on him, tries to split. He'll earn a throw-in. Here's Kowalik. Al Hassan now. Nanshoff drops into that right back spot for Kowalik. Danzo switches. Sylvester Chris Taylor out of Tulsa. Taylor into DK. That's what he does well. Holds the ball up. Gets the others into attack. Valencia now. Al Hassan. He's got Mwanga checking too, but finds Valencia. Al Hassan, what a goal! Valencia tried to turn the ball, slipped off the Colorado defender, laid up nicely for Al Hassan, who bends it into the far post above Jimmy Maurer.
Yeah, there was nothing Maurer could have done about that one. Just perfectly taken from Al Hassan, and that's what he needs to do in order to win a spot in Caleb Porter's lineup. Another guy, young guy with all the talent in the world, but never produces the end product. If that's a sign of things to come, it's going to make Caleb Porter make a decision. Yeah, you remember at the beginning of last season, he scored a couple of goals early, some nice play out of him, and then kind of disappeared later in the year. Here's Nanshoff in the middle of the field now. We have a 1-1 tie. I'm sorry, a 2-0 lead for Portland. Valeri scoring the first goal, Al Hassan scoring the second. After that comment, I should remind people how cold it is out here. We are freezing. Jason's brain is frozen.
Yeah, here's LaBroca now for the Colorado Rapids, down 2-0 to the Portland Timbers. Deshaun Brown, outright. Powers now to LaBroca. Powers again to Martinez. Martinez turns, and he's got Dylan Cerna. Cerna looking to put a ball across the goal for Akban. Cleared away, though, and it's Cerna now on the ball again.
Good hard near post run from Akban. That's what you want to see from your center forwards.
O'Neal finds LaBroca. LaBroca looking to put Kindle down the wing. Can he get there? Kowalik there to shield him away. Take a look at the replay of the goal from Al Hassan. Al Hassan finding himself in the right spot after the ball kind of squirts through. And a great placement over Maurer. Coming back the other way, Colorado Rapids with a chance, but Milos Kosic covers.
Andre back. Great win at midfield by Dylan Powers there. Akban needed to put a better touch on that. He was in all alone.
There's Powers winning the header in the midfield. Colorado now with the free kick. on the attack, looking to cut into this lead. Here's Cerna out wide. Cerna defended by Kowalik. Back to Kindle. Kindle to Cerna. He's got LaBroca making a run. Looks like they're going to earn a corner here. Offside was a call. Colorado called offside, and Portland will be able to turn it back upfield.
Cerna's had a couple of chances to make a play out left, but he's all left-footed at this point, and he needs to produce a little danger cutting back into his right, or other teams are just going to force him wide every time.
Walter Martinez now on the ball. Looks to chip it over to Deshaun Brown. We'll see Brown. And there's Sylvestre running with Deshaun Brown, one of the faster players on this Colorado Rapids team. Great body position. Did the job. See what he's got left. And there's another slide tackle away from Walter Martinez.
It'll make Oscar Pareja happy to see his team winning those midfield headers on goal kicks. So that's the second one in a row that they've gotten ahead to. Led to a breakout.
Throw in goes Colorado Rapids' way. So we approach the 70th minute of this game. Colorado down 2-0. Diego Valeri with a first half free kick goal. Khalif Al-Hassan with the second half goal in the run of play. Here's Kosic picking it up for the Timbers. If you joined us in the second half, a little concern for Colorado Rapids fans as Martin Rivero went off towards the end of the half with an apparent ankle injury. We'll try to get an update on his status and what the injury was officially, if we can. Khalif Al-Hassan, goal scorer. Turns over, and now Martinez earns a throw in for the Rapids.
It is interesting to see Al-Hassan playing that deep-lying playmaker role. It's not the type of guy you would have thought he would fit there, but he's looked pretty good so far.
Flicked on, looking for Brown. Here's Powers in the middle of the field with two men on him. Al-Hassan takes it away. It's Chris Taylor out wide, and he goes long for DK. Nate Sturgis puts it out of play. Ooh. DK landed on Sturgis.
220 pounds, a Nigerian international, landing on Nate Sturgis right there.
Sturgis coming over from the Houston Dynamo in the offseason in that trade for Omar Cummings, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that was the one.
Sturgis back up and on the ball. Here's Powers.
Looks like we may have a little bit of a formation switch from the Timbers here. Trencito playing centrally now. DK wide to the left. I think Daniel Moaga wide right.
It's Michael Nanshoff behind them. That didn't last long.
No,
DK back up top, and Valencia back out wide left. Here's Taylor out wide, turns it over though to Deshaun Brown. Brown looking to bust through the defense, getting his shirt pulled though.
It's a lot of the same thing that he showed during the combine, the ability and willingness to fight for the ball at midfield and then run at you and try to make a play. Still some rough edges there, but...
So the wind picks up now as Dylan Powers Walter Martinez stand over this free kick along with Dylan Cerna. The wind is actually going in their face right now across the field. And it's Cerna on the free kick. Kosic with a diving save. Looked like it might have been going wide, but Kosic got to be safe around that post. Cerna will set up to take this free kick. Now I'm confident that there's a Philadelphia Union flag out on the far post. So
flying the colors.
Cerna with the free kick. Kosic gets just enough to keep it out.
I don't think he knew much about that one. I think
might not have been an intentional header at goal, but Kosic had to be there in the spot. Cerna will take another one. You can see the flag blowing next to him. Wind is gusting. Low ball can't get through, and it's cleared by Zizo. Now LaBroca collects. He's got Chris Clute in the back, the right back. Clute can't find his man. A chance to break for Portland, but cleared away by Corey Kindle.
It's a poor giveaway from Clute.
Here's Nanshoff in the middle of the field, gives it to Al Hassan. Al Hassan has DK cutting. Missed him on the pass. DK a little bit ahead of the defense, so we have a good line of sight here. Nanshoff to Mwanga. Mwanga with his head up, looking at the defense. Valencia lays it off now. Kowalik with an opportunity, puts a ball across. Unable to get on it at the far post is Sal Zizo, and it's cleared by Colorado.
Second dangerous overlap of the half from Kowalik. It was nicely done by him and Trencito.
Nice move there out wide by Chris Taylor. Ball off Zizo and throw in for Colorado. Here's Dylan Powers in the middle of the field. Shane O'Neill.
U.S. fans want to keep an eye on O'Neill. He'll be with the U20s for U20 World Cup qualifying.
Here's Cerna trying to flick one behind the defense for Akban, but Footy Danzo all over it. Here's Mwanga with his head up in the middle of the field. Looking for Nanshoff. Dylan Powers with a good job to break that up. Here's Walter Martinez out wide. Martinez lays it off to Akban. LaBroca back to Martinez. Martinez still on the ball. No foul called there. Zizo was looking for a hold. Kindle now, the middle of the field. Kindle drops back, has a go. The ball deflected. There's Kindle again. Puts a ball across. Looks like a handball. That will be a yellow card for Andre Akban, who threw his hand out.
Yeah, it was the old Thierry Henry move right there. Trying to punch that one in.
Colorado pressuring a little bit more lately. Trying to make up a 2-goal deficit. Not much time remaining in this one. Final quarter hour of this game. Valencia out wide to Zizo. Al Hassan looking for the overlap from the fullback. It's Kowalik now. Here's Sylvestre. Out to Chris Taylor. Taylor to DK. DK turning on his man. You could see the power of break DK possesses. Give him credit. He has some skill with his feet in there as well. Here's a ball floated in for Kowalik. He's called for the hold on Kindle.
Kindles look good. Look good on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, the word on Kindle when talking to college coaches was there's a little rawness to his game. He'd only been playing left back for 2 years. He used to be a forward. But we've seen, I mean, he's made some good passes. I think at the combine he had a couple touches that, you know, you'd see get away from him a little, but out here he's looked solid.
He has. The one area where he struggled is defending combination play, which is not unusual for young players, especially converted defenders.
Sure. Here's DK laying it off now for Valencia. Valencia trying to draw the foul on LaBroca. On slips as he takes the shot and skies it.
You can see DK's ability to bring other attackers into the play with his back to goal. That's what Caleb Porter loves about him. I think that's what Nigeria loved about him in their camp and in their friendlies.
Jimmy Maurer setting up to take the goal kick. Can probably hear the wind as it gusts across the field here in Tucson, Arizona. Here's Nate Sturgis up to Walter Martinez. Martinez did not realize he had a man on his back. LaBroca to Powers. Powers looking for a long ball. Ball holds up in the wind. Nanchoff now to DK.
Nicely played by O'Neal there.
Here's Mwanga with the steal in the middle of the field. LaBroca grabbing his jersey. Nothing called. Oh, I'm sorry. There's the call. To be fair, nothing was called when I said it. The referee was kind of just standing there, but I think he realized he needed to blow the whistle. Here's Al Hassan getting things started, going back to Sylvestre in the back, but the ball getting away from him. Touch goes out of bounds. So Martinez and Klug combining. Now Powers. Powers with a nice turn in the middle of the field. That's the skill that he's shown. Almost landed him a Generation Adidas contract last year. Didn't happen. Ended up going back to school, and coaches said he had the best season that they'd seen from him out of any of his 4 years in school. Really turned a little bit extra on, and you see him going in the first round of the draft now. Looking like a player who fits in on the professional level. Here's a ball behind the defense to Shorn Brown, running onto it. Sylvestre laying it off to Kosic, though.
I will say this, on the face of it, either Dylan Powers or Nick LaBroca look like they would be better fits next to Hendry Thomas than I think Pablo Mastroianni is. I think Thomas and Mastroianni are too similar.
Right, you want a guy who will move the ball a little bit more, spray it around.
Right.
And they do have those tendencies. We'll see how it develops over the course of the preseason with the Rapids if we see those combinations take place. So O'Neal with the giveaway. That's Valencia. Valencia storming in on goal. Beats his man and beats the keeper. El Trencito is back.
You got to give it up for the Portland DPs today. Valeri gets one in the first half. Trencito gets one in the second half. Merritt Paulson is probably tweeting with joy right now.
Very calm on the ball was Valencia.
I thought he was going to put DK in, but hey, if you've got skills like that.
It's a lot to like out of the Portland attackers so far today. They now lead 3-0 over the Rapids. One goal from Valeri in the first half, Al Hassan in the second, and now Valencia. Here's Dylan Cerna down the left side, puts in a good cross, just gets over to Shorn Brown's head. Portland with a throw in deep in their half. Here's Nanchoff. Portland attacking again. Little miscommunication there. O'Neal reads it. Trying to send Andre Akbach behind the defense. Can't do it. Now he's out of position. LaBroca back at center back. See if Portland can take advantage of it. DK open in the middle. Finally see him, Valencia down the left side, has a go. Saved by Maurer, another save by Maurer. Jimmy Maurer, man, you feel bad for him giving up 2 goals this half because he has had one heck of a half. Ball goes out for a corner for Portland. Take a look at that last goal by Valencia real quick while Portland sets it up. Putting it past Maurer. Looking to add a 4th now on the corner kick. Here's Zizo. And Maurer there to collect. You know, the Rapids have given up 3 goals today, but you cannot blame Jimmy Maurer.
No, you cannot. You really cannot.
He's really done a lot back there.
And, you know, he's come off his line fairly well, too, which is a challenge for young goalkeepers. Kid looks very good. And he has a little experience in Chile. Spent the last couple of seasons there.
Here's Labroca having a go from long. Kosic with the easy collection there. Rounding out the coverage of our first game. Game 1 of 26 this preseason that we're going to have streaming on MLSsoccer.com. Portland Timbers and the Colorado Rapids. Later today, 3 o'clock Eastern time, we're going to have the Houston Dynamo against the San Jose Earthquakes. And then later on this afternoon at 6 p.m. Eastern time, we are going to have Sporting Kansas City taking on the local team, FC Tucson. So getting to see some good teams there. MLS Cup finalists, Supporter Shield winners, and the U.S. Open Cup winners from last season. It's a big day of soccer here on MLSsoccer.com. Here's Nanchoff now in the midfield. Chris Taylor. Valencia can't control it. Here's Deshaun Brown trying to get behind the defense. Shielded off by Footy Danzo. Did well there, and Kosic picks it up.
It was nicely read by both Danzo and Kosic on that play. You can see Andre Akman has dropped a little bit deeper with Deshaun Brown playing higher. The idea being for Akman to use his strength to get on the ball and try to send Deshaun Brown through.
Nanchoff pushes out wide. Here's Taylor looking for DK. DK holds off his man.
With ease, it must be said.
As we head into the final 5 minutes of this game, it's Mwanga in the middle. Another huge save by Jimmy Maurer. What a play. Mwanga thought he had a goal there after the ball was sent across.
I think Paul Bravo and Oscar Pereira might be coming up to Jimmy Maurer with a contract after this game.
Yeah, what do you do here? You got to give your other goalkeepers a shot, but I think Jimmy Maurer is showing something. Here's the corner sent in by Zizo. Sylvestre on the ball. Lays it off. Here's a... Oh! Colorado had a chance to break out. Hits the back heel of Walter Martinez. Here's Al Hassan now through the middle. Out wide. The cross is sent in. Corey Kindle able to get a foot on it. Now DK and Kindle going at it. DK looking for an outlet. Dylan Cerna finds a space there and is able to defend. Labroca looks to go up the wing to Akban. Akban did not read that play. It's now Portland's throw on the near side. They go back to Kosic. Nanchoff to Sylvestre. Here's Nate Sturgis. Back to Shane O'Neill. And now Corey Kindle. He's got Cerna. Cerna steps on the ball but manages to keep possession. Labroca, Kindle. Kind of want the Rapids to take a shot over top at one point to Deshaun Brown, no?
Yeah, especially because Portland's playing such a high line. But Give credit to Portland's attackers. They're just not giving anybody a chance
To get
to
their
pick
head
their
up.
head up and hit that ball.
Take a look at that save by Jimmy Maurer earlier on Danny Mwanga. Great athleticism shown there by Maurer, who's having a tremendous half despite the fact that he's given up a few goals.
Took two pretty exceptional efforts to beat him.
Goal scorers today, Diego Valeri in the first half on a free kick. Khalif Al-Hassan scored the second in the run of play. And then El Trencito, Jose Adolfo Valencia, scored the third. Portland leads 3-0.
Both those second and third goals came after turnovers forced by the high pressure from the Timbers, and I think that's something we should all probably get used to this year.
DK called offside here. Here's LaBroca. Final couple of minutes here. Dylan Cerna. Shane O'Neill to LaBroca. There's Akban laying it off for Dylan Powers. He's got Kindle down the wing. Kindle putting in the cross. And there's Deshaun Brown with the header. Colorado draws one back. Couple draft picks teaming up there, Corey Kindle and Deshaun Brown.
That was three of them. It was started by Dylan Powers.
Oh, you're right.
To Kindle, to Brown at the back post. I think another round of applause for the Colorado Rapids draft performance. Doesn't get much better than that, does it?
Gotta like what you see there from Deshaun Brown getting on the end of it. Makes it 3-1.
And just a picture-perfect cross from Kindle. So much for being raw.
Remember, that left back position for the Colorado Rapids is really something that's up in the air right now between Anthony Wallace, Chris Clute, who's playing right back this half, and Corey Kindle. Wallace probably, I'd say, a little shaky, a little maybe out of form in the first half. Kindle definitely pushing himself up the ladder there. It's only game one, though. We're early. You'll be able to see the Rapids again during our preseason streams. You can log on to MLSsoccer.com, get a full schedule. There's Powers having a go just wide of Kosic's net. Again, log on to MLSsoccer.com. You can see the full schedule of preseason games that we'll be streaming. There'll be a bunch more from out here in Tucson, Arizona in the Desert Friendlies. We also have the Desert Diamond Cup coming up later in February. Full tournament featuring the Seattle Sounders, the New York Red Bulls, the New England Revolution, and Real Salt Lake, if I'm not mistaken. And then also, I should say, coming from Orlando, there'll be the Disney Pro Soccer Classic again. 6 MLS teams out there, as well as Orlando FC and the Tampa Bay Rowdies. So plenty of action to get you started for the MLS season. Get your fantasy scouting done before you set your fantasy team. We'll have more information on the on MLSsoccer.com fantasy soccer starting later this week. There's your final whistle. It's the Portland Timbers 3, the Colorado Rapids 0.
1.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It just happened, too. Deshaun Brown picking up that late goal for the Colorado Rapids. So 3-1 Portland Timbers start. Glad to have goals out here.
It was a exciting game. It wasn't exactly a goal fest, but I think we saw a lot more combination play in the first half as both teams had closer to their first choice lineups. Second half more opportunistic. From the Rapids perspective, you have to be excited, I think most especially about Corey Kindle. Nick LaBroca looked good. Deshaun Brown getting on the scoreboard, also very nice for them. For Portland, the style.
Mm-hmm.
The way they kept the ball on the ground and kept moving around in the first half, and then of course the pressure that led to the goals, and Trencito, after that year-long injury, getting on the scoreboard first thing.
Yeah, I mean, you look at him scoring in his first game back, Valeri scoring in his first game for the Timbers. The attack for the Timbers, very impressive as far as I'm concerned. A lot of different players that they can mix in there. We saw different looks. We saw the 4-4-2. We saw the 4-3-3. So you have to be excited if you're a Timbers fan of what's coming. I know we got a question earlier on Twitter that said, is the Cascadia rivalry starting to, close a little bit? Are the Vancouver, Portland kind of catching up to Seattle a little bit? I know it's early in the preseason, Matt, but what are your thoughts there?
Well, I think the cup is in Portland for a reason. I think the gap has closed. I'm a big Caleb Porter fan. I think he's a guy who knows how to build not just a team, but a culture, and I think you're going to start to see that. Now, of course, I do think Seattle is still the best team of the three heading into the season, but it's not a huge gap.
All right, well, we're going to wrap it up here from the Desert Diamond. I'm sorry, what's this called? The Desert Friendlies. I apologize. Again, it is freezing out here, and we're doing our best. We're going to try to get some warmer clothes for Game 2. You can see that 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. local time here in Arizona. It's the Houston Dynamo, last year's MLS Cup runners-up, against the San Jose Earthquakes, last year's Supporter Shield winners.
A no-name San Jose Earthquakes.
Yeah. No numbers on their jerseys, so we're going to do our best for that game. But don't forget, check back to MLSsoccer.com, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. For the armchair analyst, Matt Doyle, and all the crew that helped put this game on, I'm Jason Seguini. We're signing off.